As Bitcoin lulls around $40,000, the question of the day is, what about Ethereum? What to expect with Ethereum as we go over the more high-term time frame view for Ethereum. And other than that, I want to welcome you back to the Krown Crypto channel. It's a nice little Friday morning over here, and we can just jump right into this one. So starting off with our chart view on the weekly time frame for the HPDR bands. Something very, very particular has happened for Ethereum that we've actually already seen on Bitcoin. I believe it was a week ago that was confirmed. And in this case, Ethereum is very likely looking at the exact same thing. And I want to once again introduce you to my friends, Senor Bing and Mr. Bong. And in this case, Bing in the middle right here, the median band of the HPDR indicator is, well, not just being rejected, but it's being lived below. So what does that imply? It implies that we're going to see Mr. Bong, and Mr. Bong is all the way down here, somewhere around low $2,000. Now, is that going to happen today or tomorrow? Probably not. In fact, as we look at the short-term timeframes, or the shorter-term look, I should say, it's a bit of a different look right there. But ultimately, that is an area of interest, kind of going onwards and forwards here into the month of February. Now, I want to extrapolate this one more step over to the monthly time frame, and what do you know, we do have something of significant interest here as well. The monthly time frame has seen a rejection right around the median, in fact pretty much right on the median for Ethereum on the HPDR bands, which was that 2620 tick or so, and as of right now, with 5 days left to go, a little bit more than 5 days left to go to be fair, we do see that the monthly is operating similarly to Bitcoin and many other things in this market as one massive girthy doji dildo rejection, which would typically imply, now this one doesn't always happen, but typically speaking, when we do see rejection of the median, we're very likely going to revisit the bottom end of the 50% range low at some point. Now the thing is, I say at some point, so it's not going to be like, I mean, it's probably not going to be next month, but it could take a series of like 2 to 3, maybe even 4 months. The last time we saw some similar to this was this rejection back on over in July, where it took 1, 2, 3 to officially test the bottom end of that region, and it can crawl up over time, but as of right now, it is actually all the way down at 1830. Now, I suspect that it will probably tick up on the next monthly open, but you know, does it come up to that $2,000 number and become you know, one and the same as the weekly level? Perhaps, yeah. I mean, I think that would be a little bit more of the better look for things. So, you know, with Ethereum trading here at about $2,200, that's another 10% drop off from where we're currently at, and does kind of play hand in hand with Bitcoin likely coming down in the month of February, and maybe even March as well. So the thing here is, though, is that I'm not calling a major macro reversal. I do still think that the overall macro lows are in, but it's probably going to get a little bit scary, I do believe, in this next couple months here. And you're probably going to see a lot of this market, or not a lot of this market, but a lot of these market analysts, yes, indeed, the analysts will tell us that it's all for naught and it's going back down, and it was the biggest bull trap ever. And you know, realistically, we're just seeing another monthly swing high here. We haven't really seen one on Ethereum since May. Then we saw a swing low over here in September, you know, about 4 or 5 months later, and we're seeing one again about 4 months later from then. Okay, that's how trends work. It goes up and then it goes down, but it doesn't go down as far as it went up. So therefore, you have a trend with a higher low, and it continues onwards and forwards. And I believe that is still what we're looking at long term. I'm still overall bullish on this market, but for these next few months, don't think the selling's over, to reference yesterday's topic. It's such a funny fucking concept. Like, who the hell came up with that? Selling's over, guys. I talked with the GBC guys, and they said the selling's done, and, well, it's over. No one else is allowed to sell ever again. No problem there. It's like, what the fuck? It's such a simplistic model of the market to think that, oh, we just have literally one participant. It's just fucking retarded, but sorry, it's redacted. And when I say retarded, I mean in the scientific sense, not in the street slang sense, which is very offensive. Anyways, yeah, moving on over here for the weekly time frame on Ethereum. There is bearish divergence in play. Now, I think that this is more or less a formality, but typically speaking, we would see at least a target somewhere down around that yellow 21 exponential moving average in the more, I guess, near term over the next week. So maybe we see this hit next week, and that would be down around about 2100. But here's the thing. I do think that Ethereum will get a bounce somewhere around this region between now and in the end of next week. So it's unlikely to like fully break down really until we get into like the heart of February, I do believe. Now, one of the reasons that I'm basing that off of is going to be over here on our daily range statistics. And you'll notice that there's more information. There's new information, baby. We've got it added. It took a long time. It's like, felt like for a while saying, okay, soon it's coming, but this is the new update that will be coming. It's probably going to be pushed very, very soon here, but it is ready now. And I'm just going over the sort of finishing touches with it, just verifying that everything's good to go. But if you do have access, what I should say is that if you do have access to these indicators from the Chart Prime whole suite, you'll get this update automatically. You don't need to pay nothing, or even when we add more indicators, which yes, more indicators are coming. But who knows when, man. I don't want to give a date out on that because I don't know. I'm not a developer. But the price will not change for you, obviously. Anyways, in this case, yes, a couple things of interest here. First, Friday statistics for Ethereum specifically, we do see that, it's a little bit better than a coin toss in favor of a positive closure with an average return of about 2.5%, pretty much on both sides. So if we look at today's daily range, 2.5% to the upside, would be about 2270, and 30% to the downside would be 2169. So that's likely today's range. I don't think that we're going to see anything too crazy here. But what is more important to be aware of is this metric down here. So the up down stats. So these run up and run down correlate to maximum days that we typically do, or not that we typically, but that we've ever seen the time frame chosen ever run consecutively. So the reason why I'm bringing this up is because the maximum amount of down days that we've seen in a row has been 9, historically speaking, throughout the full history of Ethereum. And thus far, we've seen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, working on day number 7 of red here. So getting pretty damn close to that max down day. I would say that Ethereum is kind of due for a bounce here relatively soon. It's likely to look, in my opinion, something like this, kind of hangs at the lows, maybe even close another down day, but then produces a bounces into a lower high. Anywhere below basically 2,500 is fair game. And then turns down in February and probably hits one of those $2,000 or maybe $1,900 targets. And that's where I do think that a major higher low could come in around. So that's essentially what I'm looking at for Ethereum. It's like overall, it's similar to Bitcoin. It's like overall down, but in the near term, more likely to bounce than not. And speaking of Bitcoin, we can go reference it over here. Let's go bring it up, see what it's looking like. I mean, the actual, whoa. I actually, I know that I've looked at this before. I don't know if I've spoken about it before. Bitcoin has the same exact rejection on the monthly here. And guess where the bottom side of the 50 cent range low is? It's 27,000. I mean, again, that's going to move up on the next closure. So it's probably going to go up to like, I don't know, 29 or $30,000. And of course, in March, it'll likely move up yet again. But fair enough, actually, that kind of compounds the overall case that I'm looking on Bitcoin. Again, this is really assuming that this month does close basically anywhere below like $42,000. So this is a more long-term view for Bitcoin. But let's go down to a more short-term daily view. Bitcoin still hanging on to the lows. Looks like it probably wants to retest these lows, but just like Ethereum, I don't think it's going to be anything sustained. It's very likely going to be a bounce off of the low $39,000 level yet again, and sets it up for a bounce into next week. And very likely we do see a test of the median, which by the way has actually popped up from yesterday's video from 41,700 to now just above $42,000. So should get something like this. Again, wherever the median is once Bitcoin starts to bounce is kind of where I'd be looking for as a general high for this likely incoming bounce, and then bleed it out into middle of February, and then probably get ready for an actual breakdown from there. Is still my general thoughts on this market. It is really interesting to kind of just peruse social media venues right now, and it does seem like it seems like a lot of people are already saying that this is the low. But then again, maybe I'm stuck in my own echo chambers. I try not to. I don't even have Twitter on my new phone, which is really good. It's really fucking nice, actually. No Twitter, no Instagram. It basically does nothing. It's great for your mental health though. But yeah, at least from what I can see, and tell me if you agree with this as well, it seems like it actually seems like there's a pretty decent divide between a lot of people saying the low is in and no, lower. So fair enough. I think I'm probably a little bit more on the outlier side, saying like maximum crazy, downside move is like $28,000. But then again, I'm not really paying attention to too many other people. And yes, I am aware, as I've been getting a lot of messages recently and really over the past year, that a lot of people do copy my analysis. Whatever, man. Have to just be, I guess, happy with it, because there's nothing you can do. So fair enough. I appreciate the notifications, but what am I going to do? Like sue someone? It doesn't fucking matter anyways. Who cares? So yeah. Anyways, that's Bitcoin. And this would be a good time for me to say that if you find this content valuable, the best way to fight against that is to just subscribe and also like the video, because it helps out the channel. Anyways, yeah, good place for me to be leaving off on this particular one. I want to do a traditional market video relatively soon, because we were looking for new all-time highs based off of August analysis. We've certainly got new all-time highs, so I think it's time to revisit that at some point. So yeah, we'll end it right there. Again, Ethereum and basically Bitcoin, short term, still looking for that bounce. In fact, let's go see what Bitcoin looks like over here. What is Bitcoin's maximum days down? 8. Oh, and we have not seen 8. We haven't even seen really anywhere close to that right now. Maximum days up, by the way, is 14 in a row. Throughout the full history of Bitcoin. All right, good place for me to be leaving off. As always, I want to wish you the best of best. Take care, much love, and see you hopefully tomorrow.